The reality is most companies actually waste an enormous amount of money on marketing. I mean, an enormous amount of money. I think most marketing dollars are a complete waste. And the problem is people get their methodology down, which is incredibly important. You got to know how to place Facebook ads. You got to know where to spend your money, those sorts of things. But it's a secondary thought to think about what words they actually use in that marketing. And this is true for big companies. It's true for small companies. Yeah, I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, 20 years there in Portland, Oregon. That game against Arizona the other night was a nightmare. But I'm a Seahawks fan, and I'm watching the NFL maybe 2 years ago, and in the end zone of a Seahawks game were painted the words "crucial catch." In fact, that campaign is still going. If you watch an NFL game right now, you'll see the words "crucial catch" in the end zone. And there's some 3 colorful little bars next to the crucial catch logo or tagline, whatever that is. And it looked like an old Polaroid logo. So I thought, oh, okay, this must be Polaroid releasing a line of digital cameras. Maybe they're making a comeback, who knows. And I said to my wife, I said, Betsy, this is another example of wasted marketing dollars. I mean, if they would just paint in the end zone, we've got a new line of digital cameras, literally just we've got a new line of digital cameras, Polaroid, they would have sold more cameras. Instead, they've got some cute tagline, crucial catch, with the Polaroid logo. It's ridiculous. Well, 2 weeks later, I'm watching another NFL game, and at midfield, a gentleman is wearing a shirt. They're honoring a couple people. One has a shirt that says "Crucial Catch." The other has a shirt that says "Intercept Cancer." So this had been a cancer awareness campaign from the beginning, and I, who study advertising, couldn't even figure out what they were talking about. That is called a waste of marketing dollars. And I think it's wrong that a company would charge you money to do your marketing and then confuse people so that your product actually sells less than more, or that you get less awareness for whatever it is that you care about. And it couldn't be a more important concern, right? We want people to get screened for cancer. We want to intercept it early. But how did that horrible marketing campaign that is still going on years later, how's that still happening? And how did it happen? Well, if you think about it, if you're the organization trying to make people more aware of cancer, by the way, I've been talking about this terrible campaign for months, if not a couple of years now. I still don't know what organization is doing this. It's literally that confusing. And so how did that happen? Well, you know, you've got this opportunity with the NFL, so you go to some big ad firm that, you know, is going to charge you millions of dollars, and they say, well, you know, we've got to tie in cancer awareness with football. You know, you can catch cancer early, which is confusing because you catch a virus, you don't catch cancer. That's a weird way to word that. But, you know, they wanted to tie it in with football, so they said you got to catch it early. You catch a football. In the end zone, it's a crucial catch. What could be a more crucial catch than catching cancer early? Let's make the tagline "Crucial Catch." And here's what they failed to realize. They failed to realize that nobody was in the room when they had that conversation. And so they took all their inside knowledge and inside language and inside deduction and inside processes in which they create prose that turns into advertising, and they released the end product of that, which was confusing. Literally, if they would have just painted "get screened for cancer" or "promise, comma, you'll get screened for cancer," they would have saved hundreds of thousands of more lives. But they didn't. What they wanted to do was be cute or clever rather than clear. So here's something to put on a Post-it note on the edge of your computer display there. Don't be cute or clever, be clear. The money is in clarity, not in cute and clever. And when we tend to write the copy that we are sticking into our Facebook ads and all that, we wrongly assume that we should be cute and clever rather than just plain clear. Clarity will win the day. And the stakes are enormously high, enormously high. You know, I'm no fan of the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. And I think both of them are wasting enormous amounts of our money and enormous amounts of our time. So don't get me wrong when you hear what I'm about to say. I want to give you an example. I got a call 4 years ago from somebody in the Jeb Bush campaign. And they said, Don, can you come help us figure out what's going wrong? Jeb should be the front runner in the campaign, and he's at 3% in the polls, losing to this TV personality, Donald Trump. And so I flew down to Miami, and I met with him. And what was happening in that campaign is Jeb was going around the country doing town hall meetings, answering questions about what he would do if he were president. And he was getting beat by a guy with a tagline. I was recently in Finland, and there were 7,000 business owners in the audience. And I said to the audience, I said, what does Jeb Bush want to do with America? And it was crickets. In fact, I've never been in front of an audience where I said, what does Jeb Bush want to do with America? And had anybody answer. It's always, nobody knows. Now, he told us in 200 town hall meetings all over the country. When I was in Finland, I said, what does Donald Trump want to do with America? Everybody answered in unison, make America great again. That was 9 time zones away. So regardless of whether you like Trump, and people ask me all the time, what, you know, about, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. But when you actually reverse engineer why he won the election, I think a big part of it was he took his audience through an exercise in memorization, and Jeb Bush did not. What do I mean by that? Well, here's how this applies to you. Here's how you beat the competition. Your marketing and the way you think about your marketing needs to be that you think about it as an exercise in memorization. You are literally guiding customers through an exercise in memorization in which they exercise what you can give them, what problem you solve, what steps they need to take to buy the product, what's at stake if they do or do not buy the product. You need to come up with the language that you use over and over in the exact same way so that your customers memorize why it is that they should buy your product. Now, the average human being has to hear something 8 times in order to metabolize the information. 8 times. And they have to hear it in the exact same language. If they have to hear it 8 times to metabolize it, we got to understand that most of the time they're not even listening. So I think you actually have to say it about 250 times to get them to hear it 8 times. And if you were using different language, like Jeb Bush was, going around being authentic, being himself, not being a pitchman, not being a salesperson, but just answering the question as a scholar, it's a great way to lose the presidency. A fantastic way. But if you go around and guide your audience through an exercise in memorization, you're going to beat the competition. So what does that also mean? It also means this. People do not buy the best products and services. They don't. They buy the ones they can understand the fastest. In other words, as I said earlier, if your competition has an inferior product or service to you, and they do better messaging, I guarantee you they will beat you. They will beat you. It's no excuse. We should have the best product or service. But clear messaging will win every single time. And so we want to basically help you understand today how to clarify your message and where to put those sound bites in a marketing sales funnel so you get the best return. So here's your deliverable today, and it's one of the reasons it's really important that you printed out your workbook today. What you want to do is you want to clarify your message, come up with, I'm going to give you 7 sound bites, and then you're going to begin putting those sound bites into a sales funnel. Those sound bites are going to act like very sharp hooks, and you're going to catch more fish, if you will, with these hooks. and you're going to find places to repeat those sound bites over and over and over. And that is going to cause your company to grow. It is critically, critically important that you get your messaging strategy down and you are disciplined to stay on message. And if you do that, your company should grow and you should beat the competition. We're going to take care of all of that today in just 6 hours or so.